Hi, I'm Jeff Ludy. You're watching Ask Jeff, a YouTube channel devoted to encouraging, educating, and empowering entrepreneurs. I'm so glad you're watching. By the way, if you have a question for me, send it to ask@jeffludy.com. Maybe we'll make a video about your question. So today I want to talk to you about something I learned from a friend of mine who is actually a captain of his own little sailboat. And oh my gosh, I've often thought about how cool that would be. He's a software programmer and he'll take his sailboat to one of these small Caribbean islands and he'll just spend months hanging out in his little sailboat, writing code for his computers and stuff. I kind of envy that, like being in your shorts all day, hanging out by the water. But one of the things he taught me was that you fix the problem, not the blame. So fix the problem, not the blame. I also saw something mentioned about this in a book about generals, great generals throughout history. And one of the things that they had as a common trait was to fix the problem, not the blame. Now, there'll be time to assess what went wrong and what can we do to prevent this from happening again. But when you're right in the middle of a battle, when you're right in the middle of a storm, if you will, in your sailboat, or when you're right in the middle of a storm in your business, the first and most important thing is to try to figure out what you can do to fix the problem. So let's say you have a problem with a project. It happens to us from time to time. We have a lot of projects going on at Houston Window Experts. Let's say that you forgot to order a door, or you forgot to order a window, or you got one measured wrong, or whatever the case may be. Because if you do enough of this, you're going to make mistakes, right? The important thing right then is to say, what is the problem? Okay, the problem is this window's the wrong size. Okay, what is the solution? The solution is we need to get one this size, we need to get it turned in, we need to get ordered, we need to let our homeowner know what's going on, we need to keep them up to date on it. That's got to happen first. That's the crisis. That's the problem. We've got to fix the problem. Now, we'll step back later and we'll talk about how did that happen and what can we do to prevent it from happening again. But to stand there in the middle of the heat of the battle, to stand there in the middle of this storm and say, well, who did that? Well, that was stupid. Well, whose fault was that? Well, get them on the phone. I mean, that's more about dealing with your ego, your emotions, your pride, and about wanting to be right than it is about fixing the problem. Which ties into another saying I like to use once in a while, which is, do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? So being right is good, but it's not the first thing you need to do. You need to fix the problem. You need to take care of what the problem is. Later, you can go back and fix the blame. So back to my buddy who's a sailor, right? He told me, he said, Jeff, you know, I'm really a one-man operation on this thing, but occasionally I'll take some friends out and we'll go out and, you know, kind of cruise the bay and drink some wine and watch the sun go down. He said, and I tell people all the time, now listen, when we're on this boat, you know, we're all friends, right? But when I'm wearing this hat, I'm the captain. And when we're out here working on this and I give you an assignment to do, I ask you to do something, you don't stop and question. You don't stop and ask me to explain. You don't stop and tell me, well, I disagree with you. The first thing you do is you fix whatever it is I'm asking you to do. Once we get to where we want to go safely and we're all relaxed and we're sitting around and we're drinking that glass of wine, that's the time to discuss the whys. That's the time to discuss what happened back there. And he said, I can tell you with inexperienced helpers on my boat, a lot of times I'll say do this and they do the wrong thing. It's not about fixing the blame, it's about fixing the problem so that we can navigate safely to where we're going. We'll deal with that later. And I've tried to implement that in my business. Not always good at it, but I try to implement that in my business because I think that I'm going to be more successful if I'm fixing problems first and then resolving what caused that problem at a different time. I hope this is helpful. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends. If you have a question, ask@jeffludy.com. Have a great day.